So I was talking about yachts on the backside here. You get a premium view of the city. You know, like the Chicago Yacht Club, when your boats are there, you get great city skyline. So when you're boating here and you're having people on the boat and so on, it's incredible view of the night skyline in that, and a great place to hang out on the boat in that. And so does it when you're in the playpen at night. And so I'll show you the difference. I'll go down by the Chicago Yacht Club first, and then I'll take you down to Belmont Harbor. So I won't go further than the Chicago Yacht Club. There's another harbor down by Hyde Park, University of Chicago. And you think they would have all kinds of, stuff dealing with the lake and boating and everything else at the university itself. It's another way to lure professors in, that you have this great feature of having this immense life on the water as well. That's why people go down to Florida. They can do fishing and boating on the ocean and everything else. Well, you can swim here, not worrying about sharks or anything else. And if they do the things right and they put up the showers and that and require people individual showers at the park district, and you have to shower before you go into the water. And it's verified that you go into the shower and you showered and cleaned, and then you can go into the water. And anyone who defecates or urinates in the water would receive an extreme penalty. But keeping the waterways clean. And so that means when boats go out, they have to have facilities on the boat, because you're not allowed to go into the water, pee off the side of the boat. We went deep sea fishing, and I went on drift fishing with my friend Jason and another friend of mine whose father owns I think it's a Greek grocery store. But we went in the boat, and then I went deep sea fishing, and we went in the boat. I've been on the ocean many times. I used to go boating on Lake Eleanor by my house and I've never defecated into the water. Not one or two. So I don't see anyone doing this, and anyone who does it should have a serious fine placed upon them. And we clean before we go into the water. Like on Lake Eleanor and that, I cleaned before I went in the water, and after I got out of the lake, I showered again to rinse off. So again, having proper sanitary. I wrote the city of Chicago basically 2 decades ago about all of this, upgrading the restroom facilities and that. Like they have in Europe, the restrooms are great, and they can have shower facilities that are private, and then you dry off the shower. Once the shower is done, then the blow dryers come on. The blow dryers come on. So once you're done showering, you hit the button for the blow dryers, and it's not just above you, it's 360. It blows down from the sides and from the bottom up. It can blow from the bottom up. You don't want the dirt from the bottom, but maybe you just have it 360. From the top down, and then from the sides around the body, blowing into the private places and that. So once you're done showering, the shower blow dries you clean. So you don't have to worry about, the towel is just for covering up your privates. But in the city thing, you bring your swimsuits and everything else into the shower. And so it showers you off, it blow dries you clean, and then you can put on your, water resistant tanning lotion in that. And you want water resistant because you don't want the stuff coming off in the water. That creates oil slicks. Do you know that? All that tanning lotion creates oil slicks. All those people going on with lotions that aren't water resistant and they come off, whether it's in the ocean or not, and all those people going in the water are leaving oil slicks. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of what? Oil. So at the beaches, they require you to wear this, and it could be like a spray tan if you want, where they spray it on and it doesn't come off. It wears off over 24 hours. So it can be applied after the shower. Truly. And it spray tans you. Just like the spray tan, but it's not tanning. It's putting on your sunblock. And it sprays it on the body. So you get coating on the body. And it protects the water from any, skin contamination. And it protects you from the water. So it can be a barrier for disease transfer from the water, infecting you. And you couldn't start it on military ships, the sailors at sea. Then the shower system, truly, and you don't have extra towels or anything else, so it cuts down on the clothing. Truly, it cuts down on the weight because they don't need those, but for hand towels, they'll still have washing cloths and that, but they go in and it's all set up and it sprays them down with the soap, and they have the shampoo and soap. You press the button and it sprays the body, and then you can rub your body and everything else. And then it has the one for the hair, and you put it on your hands and you scrub your head. And it has the separate for the face, and then it has the jets that hit the body with the soap. Sprays it on, lathers you up. So the face you do yourself, the hair you do yourself, and the lower half, it sprays you. Trying to create efficiencies for sailors. They got to get in and out of the shower, right? Truly. And they can use UV light in the shower to sanitize themselves. So the UV light can sanitize the sailors. And then it dries them. And then it puts on conditioner, skin conditioner, a conditioning and barrier protection, and then they go out, and so they're fully protected. And so you have to have that because they have long stints at the water, right? But cruise ships need stuff like that as well for the guests. So you're getting the shower systems down for cruise ships and for naval vessels and that, and it helps. And guests are required to shower unless you can show some type of medical condition, and you get to choose the type of water. You can have purified water, and no one should have anything. If you have a wound, you can cover it. So you cover it with, they have different types of covers and so on, but they can cover their wound and they have to take a shower. People go to shower with their cast on. They put the bag around their cast and they go into the shower. So again, they're required to shower. You can even make that a requirement to come to a Chicago Bears game or Bulls game, part of the ticket says that, you have to shower before coming to the game. Truly. And we have scanners that check to make sure you're cleanly. But why wouldn't you do that for public events? It's not a big deal to require somebody to take a shower. So why wouldn't you do that for public events? That part of the ticket sales that they would require you to shower. I mean, you have this thing when you go into public places that you have to have this certain types of level of cleanliness. And so why wouldn't you do that at, these big public gatherings to prevent the spread of disease? You got to shower and clean your teeth, say. So again, it's like here. There's no reason to be behind me. So, I don't understand multiple parking things. But, again, I don't like being tailgated. And that means somebody's threatening me and I have to stand up to the bully. They're threatening me. It is a threat. That's why they consider it assault. But look here. This is the view you kind of get from the Chicago Yacht Club. But they can put a sky deck right here on the Field Museum. Truly. And you can, I don't know if you're going to move the Bear Stadium or whatever, but it should have upstairs decks. The Blackhawks, Chicago Cubs have that big patio on the second floor you go out on, and it's a really nice patio, and you get to see the area around it in Gallagher Way in the stadium, and you can go out on the nice patio, the exterior, walk around. So they don't have that here per se. An exterior area where you get the view of the city and take it in. And why wouldn't you have a little rabbit going across the road here? But up here, they can put, truly, enhance the roof and then have outdoor seating. They did this. Where did I first do this and sit on the roof? Fenway Park. Do you know that? To add more seating, they enhanced the roof at Fenway Park, and then they put seating on the roof. And when I was going to a Boston Red Sox game, the first one I ever went myself in the 90s, I sat on the roof. It was awesome. I was right next to the lights. They were on the left and right of me. But I sat on the roof, and it was a great view. I could see all of Fenway Park. I could see the outside, the area around Fenway Park. Actually, it was awesome seating. You're saying the roof. Yeah, it was a long way from the field, but I could see the game incredibly well. I mean, the whole field, because I'm sitting way up, I get to see. When you're down there in the lower boxes and that, you don't see the whole field. You have to turn your head in that. So at the 50-yard line, when the seats are right there, and I'm waiting for the light to change, but when the seats are right there, you don't get to see the whole field. But when you're back, you get to see the whole field. You get to see the defense and the offense because you get a wider view naturally. And that's the reason to want to sit in the higher seats. It's a different perspective. Just like if you sit in the end zone on soccer or anything else. Now, the rounded stadiums are better, and I do agree with it. But the end zone seats, those right in the middle, you get to watch the offensive and defensive line completely from behind. It gives you a totally different perspective of the game. You get to see the running back and the quarterback move in a totally different perspective. So each seating area has its things. And the Chicago, Bears and Cubs and that can do seat swapping. Internal. And so say I had upper deck, season tickets. I can swap out for lower deck tickets. And I would have to, say, pay more, and they would pay less for the upper deck. And so I'd have to, they swap out, but it goes through the Chicago Cubs or the Chicago Bears. So if I have in-zone tickets and want to sit mid-level, I can do a ticket swap. And there's an exchange of value. But so people don't get stuck. It's like timeshares. And so you have that, and then you can share your tickets. And so you can sit in different places in the stadium. Think about that. Being able to swap out. And so you can sit in the upper deck or whatever, or sit in the end zone, or, and get truly. You can keep all your seats in that, but sometimes it's nice to get another view of the stadium and another view of the game. And so you don't understand, and this makes the tickets more valuable. Seat swapping. So time sharing for stadium season tickets. Because if you're buying that game ticket, and again, if you want to put your tickets up, no more you put them on StubHub. It goes through the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago Bears. Your season tickets, you have to give them into the Bears, and then the Bears will put them on StubHub and everything for you. And they get a percentage of the increased resale value. Truly. The team has to participate in that money. That's why the Cubs offered their own ticket brokerage. But now season ticket people, they have to give it back to the team for resale. And the team puts it out to StubHub and others. Truly. They do it for you. And they take a chunk of it because the team needs to get a chunk of that extra value. You can't net all that extra value. It's a shared equity agreement. And so, like, if you have Game 4 or Game 7 you have season tickets, and you have Game 7 of the Chicago Cubs, Cleveland Indians, and you want to put those tickets up, it goes through the team, back out. The team's already going to sell the individual, and they cannot be resold. You have to turn them back into the team. You still get brokers who make the deal with the team. Truly. So you have a retail license with the team. And that controls every retail that gets the fake people out of it. And so you have to be a proven vendor, and they give them to you as a wholesaler at a discount. Because you're doing the marketing and everything for the team and to your audience. And so the team will give you the tickets at a wholesale value. Truly. And you get to make a margin on those tickets. Wholesale means if the tickets are going for $1,000, they might give them to you for $800. Say it's Game 7 of the World Series and the tickets are going for $1,000. They'll give them to you wholesale at 20% discount. That's what wholesaler is in the car industry. Wholesale parts and that, they give them, like O'Reilly's and that, they give them to the auto places at a 20% discount. The auto places charge you retail. So they keep 20 cents on the dollar. Do you know that? But that's fine. they charge you retail. That's what you would get when you go into the store. But that's what O'Reilly gives them, a 20% discount. That's the wholesale price. So the Cubs would give them to the ticket vendors at a 20, but you have to be an approved ticket vendor. And so it can only go through approved vendors. And if they get out there and somehow counterfeit it, well, then you got the people that got it counterfeited through. So you want to get all the counterfeiting, and the team gets the upside value. The ticket normally goes for $100 and something, and now the team is participating in that, other $600. Say the ticket went for $200, and now it's going for $1,000, but they give it to a wholesaler for $800, and the team shares the $600 with whatever the agreed upon split is. The team gets it, and the ticket holder gets a portion. So the team gets $300, and the ticket holder, the season ticket holder, gets $300. But they had to do no work. They didn't have to go out there and list it or anything else. It's all done for them. And this way the team can secure and scan everybody that gets the ticket that are going to the game, because they have to go through a background check and that, so you don't have random people around the stadium selling their tickets. So that means the team gets to put everybody through a thorough background check before they enter the stadium. That solves that problem with potential. Now, there's still an opportunity, but again, they're putting them through a thorough vetting. And part of that, it's really on the site, they require you to brush your teeth and take a shower before the game, as courtesy, and please wear clean clothing. So they can require this, and why wouldn't they? The players are susceptible. Their staff that's working the stadium are vulnerable, and then other fans are vulnerable. So why wouldn't they put that a requirement that you do it, and you find out, through scanning systems, now you can find out if somebody's filthy. I'm not going to go in, but you can grab it. They have the systems. So again, you can require this, like on airline tickets and that you have to clean before you get on the airline and have to wear clean clothing. Truly. And they can offer, like they do at truck stops, these types of showers too. So at truck stops. And truck drivers can go in and get a nice shower, and it could be a jet massage, or they can choose the pulsing and everything else. Truly. So again, they can offer these things. And like the Vibra thing, they can put that in the shower too. The vibrating floor, that can go into a shower. The total body that's at Planet Fitness, that can go into a shower. If you want, you can put it in truck stops, the Vibra shower. And so that works the cartilage and the tendons and everything else. And you can, get a 10-minute Vibra shower, and you put it on steam. So it gives you a steam shower and vibration. But we need to be moving into the modern world. The shower systems haven't moved into the modern world. So again, we need to move these things into the future. And the future is today, not tomorrow. So again, we can do these things and make it. Like for the events here at McCormick Place, any of the guests are required. They have to have clean clothing and shower prior to. I did every time on all the meetings and that. And if you have sensitive skin, you can do a steam shower with purified water. Truly. So you should be able to choose the shower types through a purification system. And it can create reverse osmosis or purifying, so you can shower with distilled water or high pH water or more acidic water, because you want more of a cleansing from the water. So you want certain minerals in the water. So there can be additives put into the water for you to treat certain skin conditions. So moving into the modern age, and App Electronics, they can work on this. And so they're right here in Chicago. And so I remember Jay Kim and was living with Joe on North Avenue. And this is in 2002 when I first started dating Jen. And she house set for Jay. And she went into his shower and she took a steam shower. And she called me up afterwards and she was like, "Do you know they have a steam shower? And it was awesome. Jay has a steam shower. I've never taken a steam shower before." And she's like, "It was awesome." And so she was so happy, and I was happy for her. This experience that, she had this steam shower experience. So what did she tell me? And she forgets about this stuff, but when she moved in, she loved rain showers. And so what did I do? When she moved in and everything, the standard shower was up there. And I went to Home Depot, had a higher end, I forget what it was called, but they had this higher end Home Depot that had luxury. And I went in there and found a luxury rain shower. And then I went into her place and I installed the rain shower, because Jennifer Kim told me how much she loves rain showers. And so I wanted to make her happy. And so I replaced the shower with a sweet rain shower. And yeah, I enjoyed showering under the rain shower too. But I replaced it right away after she moved in with a high-end rain shower. I did it. Plumber's tape, take it off, and then you put the white plumber's tape around, and then I put it on. I do it all as perfect as possible, and I upgraded that for her. I upgraded her shelving. I upgraded all kinds of stuff for her to make her happy. And she forgets about all this stuff, all the small things I did for her constantly on a continuous basis. I mean, it's overwhelming. It's so much I did for her. Incredible. I used to clean her car, and then I found out her dad did it, and I stopped doing it. But the times I clean her car and fill it up with gas and do, different things for her. And I would always do these things out of town. I do stuff for her around the house, or I reorganize, or I do special cleanings or things along those lines. But we're down by the micro grease, and it's, I wonder what's going to happen to it. It's right here off the lake, and so what they're going to do, this whole stadium deal. So again, it just goes on, and I think back of it, and it's incredibly frustrating to me. And I keep on hitting myself and thinking, Well, what more could I have done, and how could I have lost? How could he be more worthy than me? And to me, that's a big deal. Maybe to you, loving and losing is something that's natural, but to me, it's not natural. I used to cry, how can I lose a friend? That song used to bring me to tears. And I think back, how is it possible that I could be friendless? It boggles my mind. Yeah, and the Bears game tonight, right? So I'll be up for it. But again, here's the backside of the stadium and that, and all the trailers and that. And obviously they're prepping things. But you have all these buildings right here that are further off, and they still get, a lake view at the top floors. And so, again, it's interesting in how this is all going. I'm going to turn around, but I truly wonder how they're working all of this. And is this a logistical center now? It could be. I don't have any idea what's going on. So, again, there's great opportunity in everything. But getting back to it, even 20 years plus later, to me, there was no way in my mind that she would ever want to separate from me. How could I lose to any other man? And to me, that's a big deal. Losing something I so valued to somebody else. I don't know. Think about it. I had clients that had policies that were given to them by their parents. And the policies were small and everything else, but they had such sentimental value. And their father gave this to me when I was a kid, or my mother gave this, or my grandparents gave this. And so we just reconfigured the policy and keep it. It wasn't economically the best, but the sentimental value of keeping that policy was important. So it was more than worth losing the money. So we used to figure out ways. I got to turn around, no outlet. We used to figure out ways to reconfigure the policy and make it as effective as possible, but keep it. We never replace it. The sentimental value, yeah, it's going to pay out when they die, but again, they want that policy because every time they make a payment, they think about their grandmother or their grandfather or their father or their mother or their parents. And the policy had such incredible sentimental value to them. And losing it is not an option. Truly, it has such sentimental value. And so, and I have this with her, that you don't understand how hard I worked and everything. To lose to some other male is unacceptable to me. Something I most value that I could just lose. So I'm trying to get you to understand how I feel. And if I feel all this pain and frustration, well, God hears this and he feels it. Incredible pain and frustration that somehow I'm considered lesser. That all these people look down upon me, that I'm some type of charity case, that I'm this lesser person, that I'm some kind of invalid. And think about this. Think about Jesus, David, Abraham. Think about all of them. Truly, were they looked down upon? Were they lesser? Were they a charity case?